everyone, thank you so much for being here. I am wearing my new, these are little Walmart PJs and they have lips on them. And guess what? We've got a Valentine's themed video today. We're talking about ColourPop's new collection. I just thought, let's do it. I've been playing with it. I've been experimenting with everything. I've got thoughts, some good, some not so good. So that's the topic today. So it's a pretty big collection. We've got like a lip balm lip scrub duo, 3 lip colors, 2 little like heart stamp things. We've got 4 blushes, 6 highlighters, and an eyeshadow palette. So we're gonna cover as much of this as I can demonstrate today. And I'll let you know my face is partially done right now. I'll tell you what I have on. I'm wearing the Maybelline Perfector 4-in-1, and I've been on kind of a rampage of using this first and then trying something else alongside it today. It's the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. This is actually beautiful on the skin. It's like a light to medium coverage. It's really pretty. A little more coverage than you'd expect out of it. For my concealer, I'm using the Superstay Activewear from Maybelline, and I wear it in the shade 15, and I've dabbed on a little bit of that Rare Beauty brightener that I'm still sort of trying to figure out its worth. I'm not 100% convinced that it's totally necessary. I just keep thinking, I'm not sure how much it's doing, but Mario Contour Stick in medium. Oh, I did powder as well. I used that Dalton, what do they call that? Perfecting Treatment Powder. Use that up on the under eye and a light dusting of the Glowish powder all over the rest of the skin, which I wear in light. It's called Luminous Pressed Powder, and it's amazing. I love using that. I did my brows, and now that's where we're ready to pick up. Look, I'm putting some things away first. One of my favorite parts of this collection, and I remember these coming out last year, not in these exact shades, but this concept came out last year, and it was definitely like a pick of the Valentine's Day bunch, and it's these blushes. And this year we have highlighters as well. There's a couple of those that I like too, but the blushes are so beautiful and so cute. They are packaged so nicely in these thick kind of matte hearts. They're so cute, and they will definitely like decorate my area. This shade I thought was maybe gonna really take off for me, the one called Cupid's Bow. By the way, they're all matte. But this shade I thought, ooh, there's that cool pinky lilac kind of shade, but it actually looks a little chalky on my skin. I end up trying to build it up to get more color, and it just develops more of a dry look on the skin because it is so light. And so maybe on super duper fair skin, this might be a little different story, but when I try building it up on my skin, I'm just not a fan of the look. It's not giving me more pigmented color, it's giving me more chalkiness as I apply. So hang on that we've got a cool one that works. Also, this one called Sweetheart, this one's fine. You know, it's more of just your standard light to medium pink here. It's also one where I guess just compared to the other two, it leaves me a little bit like wanting more. Yes, it shows on the cheeks, it's fine, but it's just not a total favorite. The total favorites are these two right here. Yes, these are the fun blushes. If you watch my fun blush video, these come under that heading. We have Hot to Touch and Woo Me, and I really like both of these. This cool pink, this is just going after it big time. I love it. So I get some on my brush, and I just feel like these pure matte blushes just really sing in these bright tones. So look at that cool pink cheek you end up with. And it does almost help to perfect and blur the skin a little bit. I've talked about this experience with different matte blushes. You know, you are applying a matte powder additionally to your skin, and that's doing things. Can make you look a little more perfected, but I love that color. I just love, love, love it. It's kind of like the shade I'm wanting to wear all the time, this time of year. But I also really love Woo Me. This is your kind of bold corally shade. Look how pretty. It's got a little red in it. It's one of those blushes where I say it's got some heat in it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do a little dab of this on top. Now that you've really gotten the sense of what that one looks like, we'll just pop a little bit of this color on, just for a little more intensity, because we're not scared here. We're not scared at all of blush. But look at that. I mean, it's really doing the color thing there. I love it. Pop a little bit on over here. Yes, we are layering up too. You're maybe not getting world's most accurate look at what this does on its own, but I'm one face today, and I just want you to know I've worn this alone. It looks gorgeous. So yeah, these two blushes, adorable, adorable packaging. I love how they've sort of customized the outer packaging to reflect the inner look, but these just kind of a little lighter, a little chalkier, not quite as much color intensity. These, all the color intensity you could want in 2 different tones. I know it looks like like a lot on the cheeks right now, but when the look is all finished, maybe we won't have to say, let's add more blush at the end. 4 blushes are available in this line and 6 highlighters. Look at these little babies. Look at the tones. Aren't those nice? So the first one I want to address is the one called In My Feels. And this one has a slight like lavender look to the outside and then a real like soft lilac sheen to that highlight. And immediately I thought about, oh my gosh, is this a Becca Prismatic Amethyst dupe? I know Becca has not been on the scene for a while, but that's one of the few things I've actually kept on hand because it's so unique and so special. The Prismatic Amethyst, slight shift of lilac highlighter. And this one I will say is not a dupe for that. That one is more subtle in its lilac nature, and this one is really, I think, going for it a little bit more. It still shears out really beautifully on the skin, and it's one of my favorites, and you know, it's just very unique. We don't come across lilac highlighters too often, and it gives this icy coolness that I really do enjoy. So I'm going to show you this one with my Real Techniques setting brush. So I think it gives you sort of an iciness that you can really pick up on. Becca's was a little more subtle in that way, but going over top of a blush, I think it's dazzling. I love it. And something about these highlighters that I really like is that they didn't put anything funky in there texture-wise. Nothing's coming off chunky, nothing's coming off and giving me the feel like, oh, you've got to blend the crap out of this on your cheeks to make it look decent. No, they're all a really nice smooth texture, so I enjoy that. I just think this one's really unique, and it gives me, you know, the thought of Prismatic Amethyst, but it's just a little more like showing the purple, you know, but not in a weird way. It's just extra brightening. See? Like I could wear that around on my cheeks and not feel like, oh, I'm wearing lilac highlight. No, it's just brightening. Whatever's left on the brush, I'm kind of letting it come up here, but I think it's absolutely glowing and brilliant. So that's really an outstanding one. The other one that I like a lot from this range is just the whitest one. This one right here called Making Memories. It's just so pearlescent and just beaming off the skin, absolutely beaming. Like no matter how fair your skin tone is, this highlight would bounce off of the skin. So I feel like maybe I could do a little bit of this just to show, like let's just pick a real high point here and just add a little more. See where I'm going with that? It could pair well with anything that you're wearing and just give you that beaming brightness, but yet blends into the skin, not having any weird texture. They stayed very consistent. Every blush was totally matte. Every highlighter has this just really traditional highlighter texture without chunks, without glitter. This would look gorgeous in the inner corner of the eye as well, and it makes me think of my Selena Gomez Rare Beauty highlighter in that lightest shade that I got. Really makes me think of that brightening pop, so I love that. That one and the lilac are my personal faves, but let me walk you through what the other colors are. And I mean, these are some of the highlights of the whole line. We have one called Love Struck, and this is giving you just a slight shift of pink there. It's beautiful as well. I feel like I probably have a handful of highlighters that have a gentle, slight pinky champagne-y shift. So that one's good, but if we're being choosy, it's not maybe a favorite. This one has a little more depth to it. It's called Heart of Gold. And this is the one highlighter that really makes me think like blush topper. There's a lot of like peachy pigment in this one, and it does look pretty going directly over top of everywhere you applied the blush and kind of turning it into a slight sheen or shimmer. More subtle as a highlight, but looks really pretty adding glow to a blush. And then the other one we have here is You're Glowing, and this is like your classic champagne color. See how much more buttery it is compared to that lightest one called Making Memories that was one of my favorites. See, this one has a lot more yellow in it, and that's fine. It's pretty. It probably comes off a little more subtle compared to that one on the skin. So yeah, there's a lot of highlights to sort through, and I just feel like those two, the lilac-y one and the one that's just purely pearl, those are my two faves. And I will have everything listed and linked below, but those favorite highlights were called In My Feels, that was the lilac, Making Memories is the pearl, and then the blushes that I loved were the two more intense ones called Hot to Touch and Woo Me. Okay, after doing all that, I'm gonna do a little setting spray. This one's handy, this little Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless setting spray. And here's how the skin's looking. I love that blush. Love it. I've already got my brows done, so we're gonna move on with the eyes, and I will use my Milani eyeshadow primer. And this palette, gang, this Flirty Talk palette, I'm having a lot of the same takeaways as I had from last year's Secret Admirer palette. Now this one is a little bit bigger. I believe last year's was a 9-color palette and this one is 12. But for the extra shade amount, we didn't really get much variety in looks. It's very pinky almost any way you slice it. There are a couple ways you can go more reddish with the look, but all in all, it's a pinky palette without personally enough depth for me to anchor that. Last year with the Secret Admirer, there was a great looking deep color in there, but it came off pink on the eyes. Like you couldn't escape the pink, and here it's pretty hard to escape it too. Now it's cute. Of course it's cute. ColourPop can work a theme like nobody's business. They're practically like Too-Faced in the way they commit to a theme and they really carry it on through all the products really beautifully and consistently. But here's what it looks like on the inside. Now you look down to these deeper tones and it's like, okay, well there's light and dark, right? That should be good. The dark isn't really all that dark, and there are 2 shades here that give you more red than pink. And it's the one called Miss Me Yet and Little Red Dress. So this is a matte here and this is a shimmer. I did do a look that focused more on those 2 shades and kind of neglected all the other things that looked pink, and I was like, okay, I guess there's the other option, you know, but otherwise lots of pink here. We do have mattes down this side. These are 3 mattes here and this one. And then we have all shimmer down the middle row. There's some shimmer up here and here, more of like a soft shimmer there where it's like you see the little flecks in the color, but it could also appear matte on the skin. And this one here, just my type, you watch out for this, because this one's feeling like a Super Shock shadow, and in the times I have used that on my lid, I have had creasing, okay? It just doesn't wear like the other shades. So watch out, use minimally if you have to use that one. But personally, I'm not really recommending this one. It's a fun kind of novelty palette. It'll give us a fun Valentine's vibe look, but it's definitely not like everything I've wanted and more. I wanna show you the 3 looks I've done previously. First one, I went very pinky and shimmery. I even used shades like this one down in the corner that I thought might have intensified things a little bit more. And you know, it's a pretty look, but it's very, very pink. The next day I said I'm escaping the pink a little bit and I'm going to try to go with more of the red. And so I did. I stuck with those 2 shades that I pointed out as being a little more red, and I incorporated those into the look along with like maybe one of these light white colors. Now when one of those overlaps with some red, it starts to look pink even if you didn't choose pink. So I get that, but I tried to make it a little bit different there in the way it looked. And then the next day I thought, let's do something soft and delicate with this. So I stuck with kind of a pinky mid-tone in the crease and went with like these lighter shades on the lid. And you know, it was cute. I think it's one of the most subtle looks this palette could possibly turn out. So today, I don't know, maybe we'll just do a little combo of red and pink, who knows. I'm very compelled when I first go into this palette to go to this shade for my crease, because there's not a lot else that really says that to me. This one called Talk to Me. I'm using my Persona double-ended brush, and I'm gonna just get that going. This is the one called Blend and Apply, or Apply and Blend, however you do it. And I'm just gonna get that pink going here. I think pink eyeshadow can be pretty. It's just a matter of, is it worth it to you to have a whole palette of it? Like, are you interested in wearing it so often that this palette becomes worth it to you? Or maybe you just wanna keep it on hand and say, this is gonna be my Valentine's season palette. And every year I can pull that out. But it's not much different than the takeaway I had with Secret Admirer, which was it's hard to escape the look of pink in every single look. If I want the pinky berry vibe, I definitely have enough things already that give me that, with a little more range and variety than this one. So that's why I say this is not really a must-have. I'm gonna take Head Over Heels and kind of blend that up above to blur my pink a bit more. I'm going to take the shade called Heart Emoji down here, this deepest looking one, which really has a lot of pink in it. I mean, it looks like maybe we're talking burgundy, but it translates very pinky on the eyes. But it does give me a little contrast, so I'm going to focus that on the outer part of my lid. I'm just using the opposite end now of this brush, and I may try getting a little into the crease too. See what we're doing here? Trying to keep it blended, but get it kind of not purely focused on the lid. Just working that brush in through this zone. Okay, let's take a little bit of this color called You Up. This one, reddish, pinky reddish shimmer. We'll take a little bit of that and kind of add that to the lid. Just strictly the lid with that. Kind of getting the center there. This shade called Be Mine up here is really potentially very sparkly, but you kind of need to lay it down with your finger. I'm going to use some of that. The one underneath it, Cuddle Up, is more of just a smooth traditional shimmer, by the way. But I'm going to use a little bit of Be Mine, just because there might be a lot of questions about that. And I'm just gonna like go for the innermost corner and bring it in. It's highly shimmery. Is this your everyday Monday morning makeup, Em? Yes, it is. I don't care. I'll have fun with makeup any day of the week, you know. Okay, this is so frosty, so shimmery. I'm really trying to make sure it gets pressed into the eyelid area, but yeah, she's going there in a big way. You feel like it's gonna be Flake City when you first touch it with your finger, but as you press it and really build it on the eyes, it seems to do a little better. Around the inner corner, I'll do this one On Your Mind up here. It does have some shimmer. Go into that with this little Persona brush called Define. And see how that one, like, it has brightness, but it also can kind of look matte. I'm also wondering about using a slightly smaller brush, like the smudge end of what I just used there on the inner corner. Maybe we'll use a little bit of that with heart emoji. We're getting a little more contrast with that. And if you focus in on that, a lot of that matte shade in the corner, you get kind of a berry thing, but still super pinky. Also, I will share, there are these pens called Cutie Mark, and they're little heart stamper pins. And I don't really see myself wearing these, but maybe my girls might like them. Like on Valentine's Day, you get a little red heart. Hang on, I'll show you up close. There's a red heart and a pink heart. The red heart kind of, on my hand anyway, it wants to bleed. But there they are. Little heart stamps, if anybody's into that. But I'm gonna finish my look with a little mascara, maybe a bit of liner, and then we'll come back and talk about the lip stuff. Finished eye, I did a little light liner in the lower inner rim. I use that ABH double-ended pencil for that. It gives more of a nude shade to the waterline as opposed to pure white. I used Estee Lauder Little Black Primer and tried topping it today with the L'Oreal Unlimited mascara, the one that has the little thing at the handle, and a little bit of Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water mascara on the lower lashes. If I blink down onto my upper lashes, I get a little bit more curl reinforced there. But yeah, do we like a pink eye? Occasionally, yes. Is it worth having an entire palette that's going to keep you pretty confined to that pink, as opposed to maybe just having another palette that gives you a few pink shades sprinkled in? That's more the direction I would go as opposed to this one. But for lip colors here, number one, we have a little treatment set from the Fourth Ray line. It's called Cherry Balm, and they give you a lip scrub and a lip balm. Now, I will say this is the first lip scrub that has ever really held a candle to the e.l.f. lip scrubs for me. This is what it looks like. They're really cute. This could make a fun little gift for somebody. The lip scrub, it smells amazing. Oh, that cherry is just on point, and it's very scrubby, okay? It feels to me a lot like e.l.f.'s. e.l.f. did a great job of making a dense scrub that really works, and on a stick that's like solid enough to not bend and break on you, okay? So this is giving me that very same feel. I love it. And then you can kind of go like this while you got that grit on your lips, or just rub it around with your finger a bit to work it in even more. It works great. My lips have been in great condition since I've been using this like every day since I got the kit. In fact, I feel like when I go to bed at night, even though like I'm using this in the morning, but when I go to bed at night and I put a nice balm on, I feel like it stays so much more like into the morning, probably because I've sloughed off all the dead skin, and it's just like whatever lip sleeping mask I'm putting on at night is more than enough. So after you use that, you'll have a little residue, albeit kind of sweet residue, but I just kind of fluff that off with a little Kleenex or a cotton pad. And the lips always look a little more pigmented and colorful after you use a lip scrub. And then you have the Cherry Lip Balm, and this also smells terrific, absolutely like, you know, a cherry lip smacker. And then watch, as I put this on, I swear it gives my lips a little bit of tint. Even though swatched out, I really don't see any color transfer, but I feel like the lips end up looking just a bit more colorful. Maybe it's because you're really seeing the shine. But I like that. This paired with scrubbing them makes them just look like they've got a little more life in there. So I do like that duo. I think that's a very strong product. I think that lip scrub, again, really doing the same kinds of things the e.l.f. lip scrubs are doing, which a lot of brands, even higher end brands, have not been able to pull that off. So I think this is a nice little find if you're looking for a small gift or just something for yourself. Now I'm gonna wipe a little bit of that off because we're talking about the 3 lip colors that are included here. So they chose to use the ColourPop Glowing Lips. So these are these slim sticks. Remember how they did like a blotted lip, which came off more matte? I really like those. I think those are a very special look on the lips. These are pleasant, but maybe not as unique. Feeling more like a cream lipstick, but maybe not with as much color intensity. It's giving you some shine and some moisture and some glow to the lips and some color, but not as fully opaque as a classic lipstick. So I'm gonna try on the 3 shades that they have here. First one is called Tickled Pink. So this is kind of our lightest shade. It will give your lips some color, but there's just a sheerness too. And frankly, I'm glad that there's a little sheerness to this shade because this is not the type of color that I'd want to wear like really full on. It smells good. These are giving me kind of like a cherry vanilla scent. I think that's what I'm picking up on. But there's the light pink. Then we have this medium shade that's kind of what we would all refer to as Your Lips But Better. And this one's called Candy Kisses. Softer, kind of step down pink, not quite so like bubblegum. Really pretty. I like that. These are giving color, probably a little more color than like a Clinique almost lipstick. I think it's just the format that's getting in my head and making me think about those. And then the red one is called Red Hot. So let's put that on. I do love the shape and size. Super manageable. I like that color. That color's my favorite. And if you're a little scared to wear something that feels so balmy and moisturizing, not that it's greasy, but there is some moisture here, you could always just blot it off a little bit. Cute packaging. It's kind of like, well, I have so many lip colors that are probably in this ballpark. I wouldn't have to go to this collection to get these colors. They're cute and fun, but if we're trying to be a bit more choosy about what the real stars are of this collection, I don't know that they're my top stars. Like I would kind of put the Flirty Talk palette sort of low, maybe those little stampers above that just because they're not really my personal thing. These are coming up above that. Then with the Cherry Bomb duo, really getting into something I like and recommend. And top tier, we're talking these highlighters and then the blushes. Just these are really fun, really nice quality, super pigmented, adorable packaging, the kind of packaging you won't want to keep in a drawer, let's be honest. But I love the 2 more vibrant shades, and then I like the colors of the highlight that just seem to kind of dance off the skin, bounce off, and feel really, really brightening. So yeah, guys, this is the look that I've put together with the ColourPop Valentine's Collection 2023. And you know how they put out that Not a Box of Chocolates palette? Wasn't that shortly before Christmas time? I feel like that should have maybe been either fully released or just re-released during this time. Wouldn't that be a cute addition? But I'm overall really pleased with my finished look, but I've got to say the star of the show, the cheeks. It's the cheeks for me. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. I'd love to hear your opinions on this collection, and I will see you again soon. I love you. Bye.